everyone, it's Tawney. In today's video, I just kind of want to do a get ready with me and talk a little bit about Halloween. I had previously filmed this video about a week and a half ago maybe. I filmed like a crap ton of videos in the past like 2 weeks between vlogs and makeup type videos, which is crazy because for the longest time I hadn't been filming a whole lot of those types of things. But I wanted to sit down and chit chat about Halloween and things like that. Like I just said, which I don't know why I didn't keep my train of thought going, but I previously filmed this video, but I didn't like the way the video looked, and I think it got cut in half between my camera and my phone, because I was filming it on my camera, and then the battery died, so then I just switched to my phone real quick, because I was in the middle of putting makeup on, and so instead of just trying to like deal with all of that, because I'm not the best editor, because I don't have an Apple computer, I only have a tablet that I can edit with iMovie, so like editing and stuff is kind of like hard to do for me. So, which I'm trying to work on like doing better at, because I want to put a little bit of effort into, you know, doing makeup, filming a video, things like that, and like the whole editing process and everything. But I thought I would film it again because I wanted to talk about Halloween movies, because I've watched a couple recently. So I just used the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. It's the gel moisturizer. It's my favorite one. I keep it by my makeup, like my desk here. And then I also have one from Formula 1006, which I don't use very often because it's oil controlling and it smells really bad. And I don't feel like I'm always in the mood, like I don't always need oil controlling, so I don't always use it. But it's nice to have it. I have liked it. I just think it stinks really bad, and it's just, I don't reach for it. And then I also have the e.l.f. It's Holy Hydration or Hello Hydration. They changed the name in like the middle of when they had put it out, which I don't understand what happened there, but they changed the name, so it has a different name to it. And I have that one in my bathroom, but I typically only use that whenever I'm just getting out of the shower and my skin is like extra dry and just kind of needs a little bit more like moisture and things like that. I just used the NYX Angel Veil Primer. That's like one of my favorite ones. It's like $14.99, but you're not going to run out of it very quickly. I think I have used, this is my second one, and I will buy it again no matter the price because I just think it's so good. So the other day, I think it might have been last night even, I watched Halloween Town for the second time this year. Second time this year. Can we like, second time. And I think it's okay. You have to remember when you watch the movie, which is something that I like realized the second time watching it, that it was made in the 90s. So it's very 90s-esque. And it's obviously a Disney movie, but I feel like Disney movies and family movies in the 90s were a little bit like more childish, if that makes sense. They're a little bit more like chintzy and hokey. And like I noticed in one of the scenes where things were kind of serious that they had this really weird music playing in the background that like didn't fit what was going on in the scene of the movie. And I just thought it was like odd that they would have music like that for that kind of a scene. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just so like weird and like the typical what you'd expect from the 90s. So like I'm not, you know, surprised about it that way, but just like they chose that kind of music for that scene. You know what I mean? Now I'm going in with the Milani Soft Focus Glow. What shade is this? This is 02 Golden Glow. And I'm just putting that all underneath my foundation. I'm just trying to do something different with my look today. I am going to be using a slightly glowy foundation, but not one that's like dewy. It's not considered dewy. But I just kind of wanted to put this on because I'm home all day because it's raining outside and I just didn't feel like going anywhere. And I just kind of wanted to put this on and go from there. My neighbors have been driving me crazy today. They literally sounded like they were going to come through the wall at one point, so that's exciting. I've been trying to keep the peace as of lately, you know, let other people show, like, let their actions speak for themselves, not try and like get back because I realize that that makes me look bad and blah blah blah. So I just kind of like, you know, whatever. Sorry, I try not to look out the window when I'm filming my videos because I feel like it's unprofessional, but I just looked out and saw one of the guys that lives in the building next door struggling to fit things into the dumpster, and I'm pretty sure trash pickup is Fridays and today is Sunday. So I'm like really worried that the dumpster is going to be like overflowing for the next week, like for the next 5 days, which that kind of stinks. My parents' trash comes today, and I don't want to have to like lug trash because that's gross. Like if it breaks in my car, if it leaks, you know what I mean? Don't really want to have to carry it around like that. But I can always just set it beside the dumpster because it's not my problem. Like it's the landlord's problem. But so I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 410. It doesn't have, it just says 410. So I'm using this one because I haven't used it in a while, and I remember I always liked it when I used it before. But anyway, back to the movie. So I watched it, and it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. It's a little bit chintzy. I thought the way they had the people look in Halloween Town, like the monsters and witches and ghouls and ghosts and whatever you want to call them that live in Halloween Town, all looked very like, it was done very well for a 90s movie, like for a Disney movie, you know, like a Disney 90s movie. I feel like they did a really good job. Like it looked fake and looked dumb in a way, like childish, but in a good way. Like it didn't, like it's still like, even for me as a 24, 25-year-old, I didn't think it was like horrible. Like there's one where he was like an alligator, crocodile, dinosaur kind of a thing, and it looked stupid, but it looked kind of believable in the sense that like you could think that it was a real like person in that town. You know what I mean? Like kids would totally think it was real. So I guess that's the whole point, is like do it for the kids kind of a thing. But I didn't really pay much attention to it because when my sister and our friend had come over the other day, like a couple weeks ago, we had watched it because my sister, we wanted to watch a Halloween movie, and she was like, well, let's do Halloween Town. She doesn't like the second one, and I don't like the fourth one, so we kind of like compromised and just went with the first one. The fourth one is where she goes to college. She goes away, and they have, I forget what her name is. It's a different actress. It's not Kimberly Brown. They have someone else play Marnie, and I kind of hated that, which it could have just been Kimberly Brown not wanting to come back. It like didn't have to be just all like Disney's decision to like change the actress. You know what I mean? Like you can't be mad at the movie if she just didn't want to come back. Can't be mad at the new actress. I don't really know the situation of why Kimberly Brown didn't want to come back. I think it's kind of dumb, and now she's like, oh, let's celebrate Halloween by dressing up like Marnie for Halloween. And it's like, you left the series, like, I don't, like, yeah, it's great because you played her for 3 movies and you like grew up playing her, but it's still kind of like, I don't know. I'm just a little bit like, that kind of upset me a little bit. I'm like, well, you chose to leave, I guess. I don't, like, maybe if she didn't choose to leave, it would change my perception on like her and whatever. But it wasn't a bad movie. I liked it. It kind of like, I didn't realize, and I don't know why I didn't notice this up until like just this year of watching this movie, that Calabar, whenever the second movie is about Calabar's revenge, Calabar is the mayor from the first movie, and the revenge is like his son. And it never occurred to me that like, because then I'm like, well, where did Calabar come into this, and why are we all of a sudden talking about him? And then it was like, oh, he's been here the whole time. You just weren't paying attention. And like, he's getting revenge because they thwarted his attacks the first time. So like, you know, movie watcher error on my behalf, because I didn't understand all of that. I'm now going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I use the shade Fair Beige. I really like this concealer, and I'm starting to use it more now, because for a while I hadn't. And I'm going to use a brush because I watched Robert Welsh talk about, and this is the Profusion Pointed Crease Eyeshadow Brush, but I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. He used, well, I guess not on all of my face, but he used a brush. He said, only put concealer on like 2 dots on your inner part and then a dot on the outer part, and blend it with a brush or like the tip of your finger. And he said, just blend in the area of where you put that. Then when there's nothing left on the brush, blend it out. So like blend away the creases, kind of how you would do your makeup. And I'm kind of doing that a little bit differently because I have a little bit more, and the brush is like kind of picking it up. So I am moving the product around a little bit, but I don't think that's like that big of an issue. But I think this is a really nice tactic. I think you can see I mean, my lights are a little bit bright. You can kind of see my under eyes. Like, they still look a little bit weird, but like, my under eyes have always looked kind of dumb. They've always been fairly baggy. But I like this technique. I think it will help prevent me wasting product. I think that's why so many YouTubers and influencers go through products so quickly, is they just overuse it. And I think that's kind of like the influencers that use so much, like that get so much PR and they get so much product all the time. They do it on purpose maybe so that they can get through it faster. Or at least like in my mind, that seems like what would be the case, if that makes sense. But that just could be my like thought process, you know? I really like the way that looks. I don't think I'm gonna do this every time just because it's like a little bit more time consuming. But I guess if you like really sit down and like try to make your makeup look nice, it can look nice. So that's kind of, you know, maybe Robert knew what he was talking about. You know, he is a professional makeup artist. Maybe we should listen to him more often. But so I watched that. I've watched Hocus Pocus recently. I don't think it's as good a movie as everybody says it is. It is not my Halloween staple by any means, but I guess it's more so like for classic type movie watchers. Like they are more into like ABC Family, well, Freeform I should say. I always call it ABC Family because it used to be ABC Family, but they're more into like Freeform and Disney and those types of movies, where I'm more into like sci-fi, AMC, Paramount Network, which used to be Spike TV. I think that's what it used to be. I always forget what it was, and I don't want to because I want to remember what it had been. Wow, that was like, I know my lights are a little bit brightening. Yeah, the battery backup and the foundation's a little bit light, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I'm gonna bronze it up around the edges, so we'll be fine. But like I prefer the like slasher films. I just realized I saw AMC was doing like slasher week, and it was all about Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, those types of slasher characters. And I was like, oh, so I'm a slasher character fan. Like those are the kind of movies that I gravitate towards. I'm like, that's totally fine. Like, you know, call it whatever. But I always have to watch Halloween. I haven't seen the second one. Like I've watched the one with Paul Rudd where I think it's Halloween, either The Curse of Michael Myers. I think it's number 6. It's where Jamie has a kid and she gets killed, whatever, something happens with Michael Myers at the beginning of the movie. I'm gonna spoil it, but you're not really gonna like miss much. And then they go to Paul Rudd, who plays Tommy Doyle, which if you don't remember, Tommy Doyle is who Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis in the first movie, was babysitting the night that Michael Myers first attacked. So this is like, you know, now in the future, whatever. And this family, they were like distant relatives of the Strodes, moved into Michael Myers' house. Which, that whole premise is fine. Bringing back Tommy Doyle's fine. You have a good premise for the movie. You're like bringing things in. I was using the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. Maybe you can see it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So anyway, it's a good premise up until that point. But then at the beginning and the end of the movie, they bring in this whole like cult thing where there are these like doctors and scientists that are like controlling Michael Myers because they're controlling evil. And they like, I don't know if they got Jamie pregnant or if she was pregnant and they kidnapped her. And this character Jamie was Laurie Strode's daughter, which is like, they never really talked about it until they all of a sudden just bring it up, which I never really understood that part of it. But I just try to like catch up, you know what I mean? Like just, okay, well, we'll figure it out, you know, focus on other things. Like, that's not really that important, you know what I mean? At least in the movie, you know. But it's a fairly decent movie. I like Paul Rudd. I think it's his weirdest role. Like, I don't think it's his best role by any means, but this was like set in the 90s, I believe, so like right around Friends, but not when he was on Friends. More so like when he was on Clueless, I would say. So like, I guess early on in his movie career, but he was good in the movie. But it gets into the whole, like, this organization is controlling Michael Myers, which seems so hard to believe that Michael Myers would go along with an organization controlling him. Like, he would more so kill the people that were trying to control him and be like, he wants to do his own thing, more so than, like, work with these people, which I don't know how that, they never really went into specifics enough. Like, there's so much missing. So, like, you kind of have to watch the movie just as, like, a Michael Myers fan, and not so much as like a logical type thing. Oh, and that was the elf brow thing, I'm sure you could tell. The brow pencil, it's this giant $2 thing. And now I'm going in with the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. So it's just kind of like odd. And then I've seen the one with Busta Rhymes. I always call it the one with Busta Rhymes because I knew it was the one with the rapper in it. And it has the guy from Luck of the Irish in it, which that always cracks me up because that's, you know, a classic Disney movie and that's like all he'll be remembered for in my eyes. But I have a glob that like shot out of there and I did not want it to like run because it would have looked weird. But I watched that one and it's not bad, but it's definitely not the best one. I'm glad they steered clear of those types of things for the next set. Now I'm using the Makeup Revolution Prime and Lock eyeshadow primer. But yeah, I've seen that one. I watched Halloween H2O where Jamie Lee Curtis comes back to play Laurie Strode, but she is now something Tate. I can't think of what her first name is. I always forget what it is, but it's something Tate, like Miss Tate. And she runs a boarding school in like the middle of nowhere. Like think of Scream 3, where we see Sidney Prescott living on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. Everything is controlled with these like power lock things so that nobody can get in, and everything is like electric wire, you know, like all set up kind of a thing, like very paranoid kind of. Like that's exactly the vibe I was getting, which is so funny because like I feel like that's just the premise for like Scream Queens at this point. It's just like seclusion and like paranoia. It's just what they're left with. And she has a son, which they never talk about in like the new trilogy of the Halloween movies that have just come out recently, which always like, it's weird because she has multiple sets of children, but it never gets discussed and they just kind of forget about it. And like H2O was a far better movie than like the Halloween Resurrection and the Halloween, I think it's The Curse of Michael Myers is the one with Busta Rhymes. So it's far better than those, but like, I don't know. I'm going to use the Too Faced chocolate. This is the gold chocolate palette. I haven't used it in a long time, and I know I don't really like to talk about Too Faced on this channel because I don't really approve of their ethics and morals as people behind, you know, Jared Blandino and his sister and whatnot, but I have this palette and I want to use it, so I'm going to. But anyway, but like, it's a good movie and I really like the way it played out and it was great. I've seen the first one because they had like a marathon on AMC and I was able to watch a couple of them, but then they didn't show the second one. And the second one is like immediately following the first one. Like it literally starts off where the first one ended. And I love that. And I don't know if that's like what they had planned because I read that John Carpenter, who was the director of the original Halloween movie, did not want to come back for the second one. He was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. I want to steer clear. I want to go and film more movies that are like away from the slasher genre of horror, which is fine. You know, I get that you want to branch out and stuff. And he created this great movie. So I guess they had a new director while John Carpenter had like written the script or something that like he wasn't the one filming it. But the guy who was filming it wanted to keep the same vibe as the original that John Carpenter had done. So it had the same vibe. Everything was very dark, which is fine because it's, you know, Halloween night / November 1st. Get it, slash. And Michael Myers is chasing down Jamie Lee Curtis at the local hospital. Meanwhile, the sheriff is finding out that his daughter, who was friends with Laurie Strode, was one of the victims. So he's dealing with that. Michael Myers went around and killed a couple people in the neighborhood on his way to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it was done so well that, like, you introduce these new characters to die, but they're not really pertaining to the story, but it's still, like, interesting enough that you're not like, oh, all these people died, but what do I care? Like, it's not to that point, which I think was kind of cool. So, I always liked that movie. The third one, Curse of the Witch, had nothing to do with Michael Myers much. I haven't watched it because I just thought it was stupid, and we always just tend to forget that it exists. I haven't seen 4 or 5, the movies that include Jamie, and I'd like to because I like those movies, but, you know, if they haven't been on, and I don't have those movies, I have 1 and 2, so it's just, and H2O, I think, and the new one. I did buy the new one last year. But yeah, I've watched those. Hocus Pocus was good. I watched that, you know, but like I said, it's not my favorite, whatever. And I watched part of the Amityville Horror, which was the original, but I saw like the very ending of it, and I've seen like bits and pieces of the whole movie. I've seen the beginning of it. I've seen the beginning a lot, like where it goes through and he like shoots up everyone and it's this big dramatic thing. I've seen that part a lot. I've seen bits and pieces throughout it, and then this ending where they had to go back for the dog. That was like holy crap. But I watched that. I watched House of Wax, which I didn't know was a remake up until recently, which that's the one with Chad Michael Murray and the chick from The Ranch, which I looked at her and I'm like, she looks so familiar. So I looked her up and I was like, that's the same girl. And I was like, I love seeing her and stuff because I read this article that like she had disappeared and no longer, people don't want to work with her anymore. I think it's like Alicia Cuthbert or something. Like I can picture the name. But if you see in The Ranch, it's Colt's girlfriend / wife. She plays Abby. Just jab that brush right up into my eye. Okay, that's nice. But yeah, she was in it and she plays Chad Michael Murray's sister. It also has the ugly brother from Supernatural, which, spoiler alert, he gets killed, which that's great, and it has Paris Hilton in it. And I thought she did a great job in that movie. I always liked her in that movie because it like showed that she had a little bit of depth. Not that she did anything and she ends up dead, but whatever. But I always liked that movie. It was nice to watch it because I haven't seen it the last couple years. What else have I watched? I watched Midsummer recently. Didn't quite understand it. It was a little hard to follow. I couldn't get over the fact that the guy from We're the Millers was in that movie because it kind of took away from like the rest of the thing. But it was a decent movie. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like great. I've been told to watch Hereditary, but then the girl that told me to watch it said, oh, it's probably not one you should watch on your own. So now I'm like afraid to watch it on my own. So that's like on my list. I watched Get Out last year. Didn't really like it. I didn't think it was like as great because it was so talked up. I didn't think it was quite as great as everyone talked about it being, which kind of was a letdown. Like I was kind of bummed because I thought it would be better than it was. It was more so like a psychological, like make you think kind of a movie than it was like a really horrifying, traumatic thing, which, you know, it is what it is. But I watched that. I want to watch, I don't really want to watch Us, but I want to watch Ma. And I think they're all around the same, by the same person who made them. I think Jordan Peele, I think he made all of them maybe. I'm not sure. But I want to watch that one because I really like, I think it's Octavia Spencer, that's her name. I really liked her in The Help especially. And she was in Allegiant or Insurgent, one of the two Divergent movies. She was like head of the, it wasn't Abnegation, it was the Amity. It was the one where they're all peaceful and they do crops and stuff. You know, the hippies. But I like her, so I wanted to watch her in that one. I just haven't been able to get a hold of it to watch it and whatnot. I watched a good many of the Freddy movies last year, and then Hulu took them off before I had finished watching them all. So that's something I want to do. At least just finish. I think I had gotten to 4. I think it was 4. So I definitely need to go back and watch those a little bit. I was going to do something different with my look, and that clearly did not happen. But it's fine. Because this is good too. It matches my sweater. But, yeah, so I need to watch that. Let's see. Haven't watched any of the Jason movies. I've seen one of the Jason movies, the Friday the 13th, but I think it might have been the second one, because I know it definitely wasn't the first one. So I need to watch those in their entirety just to kind of like get the gist of what they're about, because I feel like I don't quite know, which is so weird that like I'm a big slasher fan and still haven't seen those. So I'm gonna need to check those out. I haven't really watched a whole lot of like the Disney cult classics. I really want to watch the one, it's like Horror at the Googleplex or Terror at the Googleplex or something, where they're in a movie theater and it's like haunted and stuff, because I've always really liked that one, but my sister said it was too scary. So she's like, yeah, no, you're gonna have to watch that on your own, like not with me around. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, I'll, you know, whatever, I can do that. So I want to watch that one. And then there was another one. It was like the elevator. It's like the ride at Disney, the something of terror or something like that, where they go up an elevator and there's no 13th floor and like the hotel thing. I think that's a movie. I watched Robert Welsh. You were supposed to curl up and zigzag. Very slowly. Take your time. Wow, that looks nice. This is the Essence Lash Princess, the green one. I don't like the purple one, and I haven't used the orange one. I know Jessica Braun, they have one that's in a purple tube that's not the Lash Princess, and I bought it and hated it. And then I bought a backup, or a second one to try it, and hated that one too, thinking that maybe the first one was messed up. So then I was like, yeah, no, it's just the mascara that I don't like, and I'm just not gonna mess with it anymore, because there's no point. Like, I'd rather use something I know I like than just get stuck with something that I'm not going to be happy with and hate the final outcome. But, need to watch those. Let's see what else is there. I like the good old, you know, Charlie Brown type things, but they're not showing the one on TV, so I'm just, like, not going to watch it because I think it's on, like, Apple or something. It's on, like, a streaming platform I don't have because I have Hulu and Hulu and Netflix, and then my sister has Disney Plus, so I need to do the rest of my face. I just realized I'm not wearing any other makeup, and we're already 26 minutes in. Holy crap. I'm gonna get chop. I'm gonna go in with the BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer and Golden Gal, and I need to watch a couple more. I feel like I haven't been in the Halloween spirit lately, just because I feel like I don't know what my plans for Halloween are. Some women at work had said about doing like where you go to different bars and drink, or like I guess just this year like going to one bar and drinking, because we're okay with going out, you know, we do it safely. We have a governor of our state that's, you know, handling things really well. So we felt okay that we could do it. And then I was like, I want to get out there, I want to meet new people. I feel like it would be a good opportunity for me to do that. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I just kind of want to do something different, especially for Halloween, because I've never been, like, the type to go to parties and, like, those types of things and, like, go to bars and stuff. And I'm not really a bar person, so not saying that, like, I want to start becoming one, but I just think it would be nice to go out and, like, a lot of these places are, like, bar/restaurants, so I feel like that would be even more okay. So, I don't know, I'm just going to see what's going on. We are doing trick-or-treating, from what my mom's told me, so we'll probably hand out candy, but depending on what we're doing, like the women at work and stuff, I might not be handing out candy, because this year our trick-or-treating is on Halloween, because Halloween is on Saturday, and we always do ours on a Saturday evening from 6 to 8, but typically it's the Saturday before Halloween, because we don't do it during the week, so, which I always like doing it that way, but, you know, it is what it is. Now I'm going to go with the Rimmel Maxi Blush in Sweet Cheeks. This is like $4. It's one of my favorite blushes. I feel like you can't go wrong with this formula either. I think I put too much on. I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. But yeah, so I might be doing that. I bought a pumpkin to carve because I feel like it wouldn't be Halloween without a pumpkin, even though most years I don't carve a pumpkin because I either get one and forget or I just don't get one. I mean, most of the time my mom picks one up for me because I guess she, like, it's such a tradition. Like, most of the time we just sit out at the picnic table and do it on, like, a decently warm day. Yes, I am putting blush on my chin just to add a little bit more color. I think my makeup is starting... my makeup is looking a little bit better as of lately. I think I've started to, like, figure out what my, like, skin shape or, like, my face shape is and everything, so I can, like, do my makeup accordingly. But, yeah. Now I'm going to go in with the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is the original one because I talked about it in a video recently and I want to get back into using it. But, so I have my pumpkin. I wish I would have gotten it sooner, but most places around here have been charging like ridiculous amounts of money for pumpkins, and the cheapest place was Aldi. So when I last went to Aldi, I bought a pumpkin. And that was just this past week. I think it was Friday that I had gone to Aldi and I picked one up. So I'm gonna do that and stick it outside, I guess. I don't know. I don't like my neighbors enough to like care if they see it or, you know, want them to see it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be selfish and just keep it all to myself so only I can see it. And like take pictures and post it on Facebook, but you can't see it in person. But I kind of wanted to do one like Coco from Animal Crossing because I saw someone did that on Facebook and I just thought it looked really cool. I'm going to go in with the Fourth Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist. It smells like oranges and I love it, but the spritz on here is so intense. You get like these big globs of spray. So I'm going to have to hold my arm back as far as it can go. Yeah, did you see that? It like sprayed. I wouldn't mind it because it smells, it's like a mixture of oranges and Fruity Pebbles. I just noticed that. So like I wouldn't mind this like smell wise, but it just has such an intense spray that it like, I can't hold it any closer or else my face is gonna have like droplets on it. But so yeah, that's probably the plan. I did get a wreath that's like a sunflower type wreath. Well, it's a sunflower, I should say. I'm going to go in with 70 Amazonian of the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick because it's a little bit deeper. Even though I'll probably wipe most of it off so I can keep drinking my drink and eating because I've been snacking most of the day. But, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I wish I could get more into Halloween. I talked and then I smudged. I'm not a lip liner type person, and it shows, even though I think this looks great. I think it matches my look so well. But, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I need to get more into Halloween, but I just sometimes am just not in the mood for it. I'm not a big fall fan, just because I like summer so much, and I feel like fall is like taking away summer, which is basically what it's doing. But like not, you know, it is what it is. When you live in a place that has 4 seasons, you're going to get that, and I just kind of have to accept it and like deal with it. But yeah, so it is what it is, and I just have to, you know, accept it. And I'm starting to like be on the whole, I like the idea of change, I like the idea of doing something different, trying something new, having a new season, you know, going into a different stage of life and things, because that's where I am right now. So I think that's kind of cool. Let me know what your favorite movies are in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any recommendations. I would love to watch like any Halloween movie you have. Just don't make it too scary, like The Conjuring and all those types of movies are a little bit too scary for me. But like any like slasher movies, cult classics, anything you think that I would really like, definitely let me know in the comments section. I think I discussed everything that I was wearing makeup wise, so I don't have to post it in the comment section because I always forget and then I never know what I'm wearing, like what I had used whenever I'm like, you know, putting all this stuff on YouTube. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell somewhere down below so you get notified when I upload. Check out my previous videos and stay tuned for my next ones, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!